Hollywood has always been a place where glamour and intrigue walk hand in hand, but every so often a revelation comes along that makes even the most seasoned insiders stop and pay attention, and this time it is none other than Robert Downey Jr. stepping forward with a statement that has sent shockwaves through the industry. Known for his ability to navigate both blockbuster success and personal reinvention, Robert is not someone who speaks without reason, and his latest comments have ignited a firestorm of speculation surrounding two of Hollywood's most beloved figures, Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds. The core of the storm is a claim that has left fans stunned, and the media scrambling that significant funds connected to the couple may be missing. While Robert has chosen his words with precision, the implication is unmistakable, and the timing could not be more impactful. Arriving at a moment when public demand for transparency in celebrity dealings is at an all-time high. The entertainment world is buzzing with questions. How could something like this happen without notice? Where exactly could the missing money have gone? And perhaps most importantly, what does this mean for the public image that Blake and Ryan have spent years cultivating as a power couple, blending professional success with personal charm? For years, their partnership has been celebrated as a model of Hollywood balance, managing careers, philanthropy, and family life with apparent ease. But Robert's remarks have cracked open the facade, hinting that behind the curated social media posts and lighthearted interviews, there may be a far more complex story unfolding. Insiders are already connecting dots between past project delays, sudden shifts in business partnerships, and unexplained changes in their philanthropic ventures events that once seemed unrelated but now fit into a growing narrative that has the industry on edge. The public response has been immediate and intense. Social media platforms are flooded with timelines, theories, and amateur investigations as fans and critics alike dissect every scrap of available information. Some remain fiercely loyal, insisting that the couple could never be involved in anything questionable, while others are convinced that Robert's track record of credibility means there must be truth to his words. The absence of a direct rebuttal from Blake and Ryan has only fueled the speculation, and in a culture where silence is often seen as a sign of trouble, every passing day without clarity adds to the pressure on their public standing. Robert's decision to speak out now, rather than at any earlier point, is also raising eyebrows, suggesting that something recent may have prompted him to break his usual restraint. Whatever his motivation, the effect is undeniable, turning what might have been a private matter into one of the most watched developing stories in Hollywood today. And as the questions mount and the chatter grows, the stakes for everyone involved have never been higher. The world of Hollywood has always been filled with stories that blur the line between glamour and chaos. And now a new twist has emerged that has left fans stunned and the media scrambling to piece together the puzzle. Robert Downey Jr., a name synonymous with blockbuster success and decades of industry insight, has stepped into the spotlight with revelations that no one saw coming. His comments have not only reignited conversations around the personal and professional dealings of Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds, but have also raised serious questions about financial transparency and trust within the entertainment industry. What began as whispers in industry circles has now exploded into a full-blown discussion with Robert, hinting at funds going missing in ways that are both shocking and baffling. His words were careful, yet laced with an undertone of disbelief, and it is this subtle yet powerful delivery that has made his revelation all the more explosive. According to sources close to the matter, these missing funds are not just a minor accounting hiccup, but rather a complex web of transactions and unexplained expenditures that could potentially involve high-profile projects, charity contributions, and even joint ventures tied to the celebrity couple. The timing of Robert's revelation could not be more significant given the current climate in Hollywood, where transparency is increasingly demanded, and fans expect their favorite stars to uphold values of honesty and accountability. Robert's statements have stirred reactions from all corners, with some defending Blake and Ryan insisting that they would never knowingly be involved in something questionable, while others believe that this might be just the tip of an iceberg. The atmosphere is charged with speculation, and online platforms are ablaze with theories and debates about what could have possibly led to such a situation. The fact That Robert Downey Jr., a figure known for his discretion and for staying out of petty Hollywood squabbles, decided to speak out has amplified the gravity of this moment. He is not someone who jumps into controversies lightly, and his track record shows that when he does speak, there is usually substance behind it. This makes his comments a turning point in what could become one of the most talked about celebrity sagas of the year. The intrigue deepens when you consider the interconnected nature of Hollywood's elite, where friendships, business partnerships, and personal histories are tangled together, making any such allegation potentially far-reaching. For years, Blake and Ryan have been the image of a power couple balancing blockbuster films with philanthropic endeavors while cultivating a playful and relatable public image. But Robert's remarks have pulled back the curtain, revealing that even the most picture-perfect facades may hide complexities and conflicts that outsiders rarely see. Already, insiders are beginning to connect dots between unexplained project delays, sudden changes in business deals, and now the murmurs of financial irregularities. The social media frenzy is impossible to ignore, with hashtags demanding answers and fan accounts dissecting every public appearance and interview of the couple over the past year. The speculation has grown to the point where silence from their camp is being interpreted by some as avoidance, fueling even more theories. And narratives Robert's role in this is equally fascinating, because rather than delivering a direct accusation, he has provided just enough to ignite curiosity and suspicion without committing to a single definitive claim. This calculated vagueness has left journalists, analysts, and fans alike in a state of constant refresh, waiting for the next piece of the puzzle to fall into place. And in Hollywood, where public perception can change overnight, this unfolding story is not just about the potential truth behind the missing funds, but also about the intricate game of influence, loyalty, and reputation management that defines the upper echelons of celebrity life. As the days pass without a clear statement from Blake and Ryan, the questions will only grow louder, while Robert Downey Jr.'s carefully chosen words will echo in headlines and conversations, fueling the suspense around what could become one of the defining Hollywood dramas of the decade. The impact of Robert Downey Jr.'s statement is rippling far beyond the celebrity gossip columns, reaching into the very core of Hollywood's business circles, where every word and every whisper has the potential to shift alliances and reshape reputations. What makes this moment especially significant is how quickly industry insiders are starting to share their own small pieces of the puzzle. Private conversations in production meetings, quiet murmurs at charity galas, and even subtle changes in social media behavior are now being re-examined through the lens of Robert's revelation. Theories are forming in real time, and while none of them are confirmed, the way they intersect with past events and decisions paints a fascinating, if somewhat troubling picture. Observers have pointed out that over the last 18 months, there have been abrupt cancellations of projects linked to Blake and Ryan, sudden personnel changes in their joint business ventures, and a few instances where large-scale events they were reportedly involved in have had unexplained budget discrepancies. Each of these moments might have been dismissed as unrelated hiccups in the fast-paced entertainment industry, but now with Robert's comments looming over them, the narrative feels different. There is a sense of urgency among journalists and investigators to follow the money trail, to determine whether these events connect in a way that could validate the idea of missing funds. The world of celebrity. Finance is often cloaked in secrecy, with layers of management, accountants, lawyers, and publicists standing between the stars and the public. So getting to the truth is never simple yet. That very complexity is what makes this revelation so intriguing. It is not just a question of whether funds have gone missing, but also of how such a thing could happen without detection, or perhaps more importantly, without intervention from those in positions of oversight. Robert's choice to speak out now, rather than at any point in the past, raises questions of its own. Was there a tipping point, a new piece of information, or an incident so concerning that he felt compelled to break his usual silence? Some close to Robert believe that his years of experience navigating both the highs and lows of Hollywood have given him a unique radar for trouble, and that he may have sensed patterns in Blake and Ryan's dealings that others either overlooked or chose to ignore. It is also worth noting that Robert has collaborated with numerous A-list actors, directors, and producers over the years, and his connections span every corner of the industry. This means his insight may come not only from direct observation, but also from the network of confidants who trust him implicitly and share details they might never reveal publicly. The fallout from his words has already begun to affect Blake and Ryan's carefully crafted public image. Brands that have partnered with them in the past are reportedly monitoring the situation closely, wary of being drawn into any potential controversy. Meanwhile, fans remain divided, with some standing firmly by the couple and others expressing a sense of betrayal even before any official confirmation of wrongdoing. The online conversation has taken on a life of its own, with timelines of events being shared, speculative charts mapping out the flow of money, and videos dissecting old interviews for possible clues. In an age where perception can be as impactful as fact, this wave of speculation alone could influence careers and opportunities for years to come. The media machine is in full swing, with talk shows, entertainment podcasts, and digital platforms all devoting airtime to unpacking Robert's statements, dissecting every phrase and tone in search of hidden meaning. Some analysts are suggesting that this could be part of a larger trend where major stars begin to hold each other accountable more publicly, shifting the balance of power in Hollywood. Others caution that without concrete evidence, this remains a dangerous game, one where reputations can be irreparably damaged even if no wrongdoing is ever proven. Robert himself appears unfazed by the attention, though those who know him say that behind the calm exterior, he is fully aware of the storm he has unleashed. Whether intentional or not, his words have placed Blake and Ryan at the center of a high-stakes drama where the truth, financial or otherwise, will be demanded by an increasingly restless public, and where the answers may shape not just their future, but also the way celebrity culture handles accountability moving forward. As the story unfolds, a deeper layer of complexity begins to emerge, one that goes beyond the simple question of whether funds are missing and into the realm of how power, influence, and secrecy operate in Hollywood circles. Close observers have noted that while the entertainment industry thrives on public attention, it also relies heavily on what remains unseen. Deals struck in private conversations, handshakes at exclusive events, and agreements sealed long before they ever reach the press. In this hidden world, money flows in intricate patterns, often tied to investments in films, television productions, branding deals, and charitable ventures that may appear straightforward on paper, but are in reality tangled with overlapping interests. The suggestion that something in Blake and Ryan's financial web might not add up forces a reevaluation of how their operations have been perceived for years. After all, the couple has been celebrated as a modern Hollywood success story, combining professional achievements with philanthropy and charm. But Robert Downey Jr.'s carefully worded statements have created a crack in that image, prompting both fans and insiders to question whether there have been warning signs along the way. Some are revisiting past interviews in which Blake or Ryan spoke about their business ventures, searching for inconsistencies, while others are digging into public records of their charitable foundations to see if donations and expenditures align with what was publicly claimed. The challenge lies in the fact that financial irregularities are rarely straightforward, especially in industries where money can move through multiple accounts, shell companies, and intermediaries before reaching its final destination. This complexity allows for plausible explanations that can obscure the truth for years, and it is precisely this fog that makes Robert's comments so impactful. By hinting at the possibility of missing funds without directly accusing anyone, he has opened a door that many are now eager to walk through. Investigators, whether from the press or from legal backgrounds, are said to be quietly following the paper trail, piecing together transactions and timelines in hopes of finding a clear connection to the claims swirling in public discourse. Meanwhile, the couple's inner circle is reportedly tightening access, limiting who can speak to the press, and carefully crafting statements that avoid adding fuel to the fire. Yet the absence of a strong denial only adds to the curiosity, fueling speculation that something significant may indeed be happening behind the scenes. Robert's reputation adds another dimension to this unfolding drama, because he is not just another celebrity with an opinion. He is someone who has weathered storms in his own career, rebuilt his image from the ground up, and learned the value of credibility. The idea that he would risk that credibility without having substantial reason to do so is a point that many commentators are emphasizing. It raises the stakes for Blake and Ryan as they navigate a media environment that is increasingly skeptical and willing to question even the most admired figures. In the public arena, perception often shapes reality, and right now the perception is that Robert knows more than he is saying, which keeps the story alive day after day. Some industry veterans are speculating that this could lead to a ripple effect in which other actors, producers, or executives who have had private concerns might feel emboldened to speak out, creating a chain reaction that uncovers even more about the couple's financial dealings. Whether or not that happens, the fact remains that Robert's intervention has shifted the narrative from lighthearted celebrity gossip to something approaching a serious investigation, and in doing so, he has placed Blake and Ryan at the center of a high-profile mystery, whose resolution may not come quickly but will certainly be watched closely by millions. With every passing day, the story is becoming less of a fleeting headline and more of a sustained public conversation. And this longevity is what makes it so potentially damaging for Blake and Ryan, because in Hollywood, timing is everything, and narratives that linger tend to reshape reputations in ways that are difficult to reverse. Robert Downey Jr.'s initial remarks have sparked an ecosystem of discussion in which journalists, industry analysts, fans, and even casual observers are each playing their role, dissecting details, and adding their own interpretations. Some point to the couple's recent absence from certain public events as a sign that they are regrouping behind closed doors, while others suggest that they may be working to quietly resolve whatever financial discrepancies have come to light before making any kind of public statement. What makes this scenario unique is that Robert's comments did not arrive in isolation, but rather against a backdrop of smaller incidents that now seem to form a pattern: unexplained delays in film releases, abrupt changes in business partnerships, and sudden shifts in the management of philanthropic projects tied to the couple. Each of these could be coincidental, yet in the current climate of scrutiny, they are being viewed through a far more suspicious lens. Industry insiders note that when a celebrity brand is as valuable as Blake and Ryan's, the stakes of any potential scandal extend far beyond their personal image, reaching into the financial interests of studios, sponsors, and other collaborators. This creates a delicate balancing act for all involved, because while no one wants to prematurely distance themselves from two of the most marketable stars in the industry, there is also a need to protect their own reputations from collateral damage. Meanwhile, the digital sphere has taken on the role of an unofficial investigative team, with users pooling information from public records, archived interviews, and even obscure social media posts to construct elaborate timelines and theories. The speed at which this collective research is moving is remarkable, and it reflects a broader trend in which online communities are no longer content to passively consume celebrity news but actively participate in uncovering it. This can be a double-edged sword, because while it increases transparency, it also raises the risk of misinformation spreading quickly, adding yet another challenge for those at the center of the storm. Robert, for his part, has remained silent since his initial revelation, and that silence is being interpreted in multiple ways. Some see it as a calculated move to avoid escalating tensions, while others believe he is giving space for the truth to emerge on its own. Whatever his reasoning, the effect has been to keep the story alive without adding any new facts, which in the unpredictable world of public opinion can sometimes be more powerful than a direct accusation. The fact that Blake and Ryan have built a brand on authenticity and relatability makes the current situation even more precarious, because if the public begins to doubt the sincerity of that image, the damage could extend far beyond the resolution of this particular controversy.
Subscribe to my channel.
For now, the central question remains unanswered. Where did the missing funds go, and was their disappearance the result of oversight, mismanagement, or something more deliberate? Until those answers come, the speculation will continue to grow, fueled by the combination of Robert's credibility, the couple's high-profile status, and the relentless curiosity of a public that has learned to question even the most polished Hollywood narratives, as the dust begins to settle on the whirlwind sparked by Robert Downey Jr.'s revelation. One thing is certain: this story has changed the way people view Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds, no matter what the eventual truth may be. The lingering questions about the alleged missing funds continue to hang in the air unanswered, and until definitive clarity is offered, the speculation will not fade. The power of Robert's words lies not only in their content, but in the credibility he carries, and the ripple effect they have created through Hollywood and beyond. The entertainment industry thrives on perception, and once doubt is introduced, it can reshape careers, relationships, and opportunities in ways that are often permanent. For Blake and Ryan, this moment represents a crossroads where every move forward will be scrutinized, not just by fans and the media, but also by business partners, collaborators, and peers who must decide whether to remain aligned with them or to quietly create distance. The silence from their camp may be strategic, but in the eyes of the public, it is also a void into which countless narratives are pouring, many of them unflattering. Meanwhile, Robert's choice to step back from adding further comment has proven to be just as effective. As any follow-up statement, his restraint leaves the conversation open-ended, and that openness invites endless theorizing and debate. The most fascinating aspect of this unfolding drama is how it exposes the fragile balance between image and reality. In the celebrity world, the polished photos, the witty interviews, the grand gestures of philanthropy, all of it can be reinterpreted in an instant when a credible voice suggests there is more to the story. The longer this cloud lingers, the more it will force difficult conversations behind the scenes, conversations about accountability, transparency, and the cost of protecting a brand at all costs. For fans, it is a reminder that the people they admire are complex and that their lives may contain contradictions no amount of careful publicity can erase. For the industry, it is a case study in how quickly control of a narrative can slip away and how difficult it can be to win it back once the public has begun to question. The truth about the funds, whether innocent or incriminating, may eventually surface. And when it does, it will either close this chapter or ignite an even larger firestorm. Until then, the legacy of this moment will endure, not just as a controversy, but as a turning point in the way Hollywood deals with internal disputes brought into the light by its own members. And for Robert Downey Jr., his role in this saga will be remembered as the catalyst that dared to challenge the unspoken code of silence among the elite, proving that in an industry built on image, a single well-timed statement can change everything.